Hey everybody, Dan here with painforyou.com. First of all, I wanted to thank everybody for all your wonderful, kind words. All that feedback is what keeps me going here and doing this video every day. Up to like 67 videos so far since March 26th. If you want to find all my old videos, you don't have to scroll through your news feed. Actually, if you see any one of my videos, you can click on Pain for You just above the video, and that will bring you to my page. Once you're on my page, look for a link either on the left in a computer where it says videos, click that, or on a phone. Oftentimes there is a series of menu items across the top of the screen. One of them says videos, and when you get there, you'll see a full index of all of these videos. Some of them are still worth going back and watching. Anyway, enough of that. Today's topic, can you control it? Can you control your pain? In my experience, no. Can you control events and circumstances in your life? Sometimes, but not always, right? Lastly, can you control your reaction to the world around you? And that's where I have an absolutely yes answer for you. And so why does this matter? Can I control it? Why is that question important? Because if you're trying to control something that is uncontrollable, it's going to be particularly frustrating and will drive us mad. I know I was trying to control my pain or control my thoughts even. And I really struggled with those. And it got very, very frustrating that I was trying to get better. I was trying not to catastrophize, but these thoughts would come in and I'm trying to control them. And we'll touch on that in a minute. But getting frustrated by things that you cannot control, that are outside of our control, is a recipe for unhappiness, right? If we try to control our pain and then discover that we can't, how's that going to make you feel? Like there's something wrong with you, or you're not doing it right. You're not doing this TMS or distraction pain process right. I'm not feeling my emotions correctly. Okay, so can I control it? Really, really useful question for figuring out whether or not you should even try to control something, and how much of your emotional energy you should give towards trying to manage something that's unmanageable. So our pain, we cannot control it, but we can control our reaction to it. Let me say that again. We cannot control our pain, but we can control our reaction to it. We cannot control the events that happen around us. There are many things outside of our control. And those things outside of our control, we can absolutely control our reaction to it. And even those things within our control, where we literally were the ones who messed up, we can either beat ourselves up over it for the next day, week, month, decade, lifetime, but we can also control our reaction to it and say, hey, I'm human, I mess up. And if we've harmed somebody else, then an apology may be in order, and so you apologize sincerely and you move on. So you can control your reaction to the world, to the outside world, and that's really where this whole series of videos is all about, is learning how to interact with the outside world, interact with it, with ourselves, so that you can become better adjusted and like yourself more and love yourself more. And I will suggest that we can choose not to react to something. If somebody says something that is hurtful or insulting, or does something that, affects us or hurts us, one, I will suggest that you feel your emotions, right? Because repression is what began this whole pain, chronic pain thing in the first place. But you can also choose as a wise adult to say, okay, can I do anything about it? If it's not within my control, I'm going to choose not to react. That's different than repressing the emotion. If you feel the emotion, if there's an electrical charge there, by all means, feel that emotional charge. But reacting could mean, do I do anything in response? Do I offend that person back or hurt them back, or let's say there's a Facebook comment that somebody insults you, you can choose to laugh about it. Simply typing LOL, and then moving on is better than sometimes engaging in these wars on the internet. And that's just one example. I mean, these things happen in real life too. If somebody says something hurtful, simply saying, hey, you're not going to push my buttons today, but thanks, appreciate it, love you anyway. Right? So choosing to react or choosing not to react. Choosing to not react doesn't mean stuffing your emotions and being pissed off anyway. Look, if you're upset, be upset. One other point I wanted to cover today is just because we have a thought or we believe something does not necessarily make that belief or that thought true or a fact. So just because you have a thought that I may never get out of pain, that's not a fact. It's just a thought, a passing thought. And just like emotions are not who you are, they're just things we experience, thoughts are the same thing. Thoughts will come and they'll go, and sometimes they're silly, sometimes they're useful, sometimes they're very profound, sometimes they're a waste of time, sometimes they're funny and make us laugh. But we don't really decide that a single thought that passes through is who we are. I would encourage you to say that an experience you have does not mean that's you. If you get sad because of something, that doesn't mean you are a sad person. It just means you experienced sadness. And so don't be so critical of yourself for feeling emotions, particularly the negative ones. And if you haven't done my assignment where I ask you to define what does it mean about you if you feel certain emotions, go look for it. It's in my self-assessment, available for download at painforyou.com, but there's also a video on it. It's one of the videos that actually looks like it's a screen capture. It looks like a spreadsheet on the screen. That's where I walk you through it. But it's very useful because if you're judging yourself for feeling emotions, or if you feel the sadness or anxiety or depression and that freaks you out as much as the pain does, then you may still have some lingering beliefs about yourself if you feel these certain emotions. Many people don't like to be sad. Well, sure, it's uncomfortable. It's absolutely uncomfortable. Many people don't like that feeling of depression and despair and hopelessness. I get it. Been there. 13 years of pain. Trust me, I went in and out of that many times. So I understand that. But what I will tell you is that the only way to get through the emotions is to go through the emotions. The only way to make the emotions pass is to go through them. If you continually try to lock them out because they are uncomfortable and you're constantly running from them, and when they get close to the surface, you have a meltdown and you have this chronic pain that flares, and now all of a sudden you're distracted. You're somewhat caught in a vicious loop here because you are so afraid of these negative emotions that feel very unpleasant. I get it. But what if, and here's a positive what if, not the negative ones. What if, by simply allowing yourself to feel these emotions deeply, to honor them, to respect them, to welcome them, like a visitor into your home, what if that was the best way to allow those feelings to pass the quickest? I will tell you personally from my own experience, the emotions that I have run from throughout my entire life are the ones that chased me the longest and hardest. And they're the ones banging on my door trying to get into my consciousness. And as long as you keep them locked out, all you've got are all of these emotions trying to get in, trying to be felt. And they just keep you anxious and feeling high level of stress and tension, and that fight or flight is constant. So one of the best ways to turn down the volume on that fight or flight and get out of that is to give yourself permission to feel these emotions. Don't try to control your emotions. Don't try to control your pain. Don't try to control the uncontrollable events and people and circumstances around you. decide, okay, that's not within my control, and therefore I'm not going to care about it as much. And if you do get an emotional charge from some of these situations and people, and even the pain, fine, feel it. Get pissed off about your pain. Get sad about it. Get despondent about it. But the one thing you can control is your reaction. Your reaction to the outside world. Your reaction to the pain. Your reaction to your emotions. Your emotions, my suggestion is react to that by feeling them, welcoming them. Sit with them as long as it takes. If you need to cry for an hour, that's okay. You're going to feel better tonight, tomorrow, the next day. Keep doing it. We've got sometimes decades worth of stored up emotions in the subconscious. So when I say choose your reaction to the outside world, choose your reaction to yourself, that's what I mean. It is a choice. It is a decision. And there are certain reactions that are productive and those that are not so productive. Some that will help us get better and some that really won't help us get better. You know, I talk about in the 11 Mistakes document, catastrophizing, watching the calendar, managing and monitoring symptoms, Googling and going to WebMD and looking up symptoms and all sorts of diseases and everything else. There's a number of other mistakes that I talk about as well, but those are reactions to your pain. Those are reactions to your emotional world. And a lot of those mistakes are keeping us stuck, and they're not helping us be productive. So what is productive? What would be a productive response to the pain? Honestly, whatever. Okay, I'm hurting again today. That's nothing new. So I'm going to choose not to flip out about it today. I'm going to choose to stay away from the internet. I'm going to choose to stay away from that. I'm going to choose instead, even if I'm hurting, to, get myself outside somehow. Nature makes us feel better. It does. I do it every day. Not because I've got pain, but because it makes me feel good. So if you've been living your life indoors and not getting outside at all, even if you have to just go sit outside for 10 minutes, do that. Try to do it first thing in the morning light. Do it again in the day. Do it again later in the day. Do it again at sunset. Try to get outside. Other productive habits that you can get into is gratitude. Look, despite the fact that my back is killing me, or my shoulder, or my headaches, or whatever, there are things to be grateful for. If you can't find them, it means you're not looking. Look, we're on the correct side of the surface of this planet. We're not 6 feet under. I'm very grateful, even though we've got a lot of things going on in our life that are painful emotionally and physically. I'm still alive. I lost a friend in 9/11. He was on the 102nd floor of the first building hit. Nobody ever heard from him again. And so my buddy Jeff died in 2001, 18 years ago. So he died in his 30s. And I guarantee you, he would trade his experience, his premature ending in life, with any one of us, even the one of us who is in the most physical and emotional pain. He would trade it in a heartbeat. So look, we have something to be grateful for, and if you can't find anything, spend more time on it. Look at the obvious stuff, the simple stuff. Wow, the sun is shining today. Oh, listen to those birds. They're beautiful. Nature is wonderful. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that that allows me to get outside of myself, get outside of my head for a little while, and experience something other than my, horror movie thoughts about my life and my future, right? Be grateful for the opportunity to change your behaviors today and moving forward. Look, we are not our past. Our past almost doesn't matter. And I sometimes say to people is our past and our future don't exist. And in theory, they don't. And in practice, they don't. The past is literally just a movie playing in our heads of what we think happened previously. And it may not even be true. It's how we remember it. What we perceive happened before. But it may not be the reality. It's just how we saw it. And our future doesn't exist yet either. It's just a movie playing in our head of what we either fear or hope will happen down the line. So spending a lot of time in turmoil over our past, or working yourself up over this future vision of your future that is full of pain and despair and agony, either one of those is probably not going to provide you much benefit. Replaying the stories of our past just reactivates the emotional charge from those stories, keeps us stuck in those stories. I suggest often, if you're looking at your past and you feel like you need to look at your past, look at the event, look at the circumstance that caused that emotional charge, and look for the lesson from that experience. Once you get the lesson, you can let go of the emotional charge. And when you can look back and get all of the lessons that you learned, and let go of the emotional charge, that's where emotional health comes from, is to say, that was a bad experience. I had some role in that, and I'm not going to make those mistakes again. I got the lesson. Won't do that again. I can let go of the emotional charge, whether it be anger, sadness, hurt, guilt, shame, whatever. And looking in the future, looking at this horror movie playing in our heads of Dan's messed up future, that doesn't help me either. So what does that mean? It means stay in the present. What can I do today, right now, right this very minute? What behaviors, what thoughts can I choose that will be helpful for me? I choose to be hopeful about the future. I choose to know deep down, this is temporary. This too will pass. I choose to believe that Dr. Sarna was right, that these things that Dan's talking about are going to help me. I choose to believe that I am an emotional person, and that's okay, and I'm safe with my emotions. I choose to believe that my body is structurally sound, even though there's abnormalities shown on the imaging studies. I choose to believe that those things don't cause pain. I choose to believe that my body is in a chronic state of fight or flight as a result of chronic stress and tension and unresolved emotions. And I choose to believe that by resolving these emotions and turning down the volume on my stress and tension and fight or flight, and convincing my subconscious brain through repetition and a daily practice, I choose to believe that that's the answer, because it truly is. Countless thousands of people have gotten better. And I choose to believe that the pain does not define me. I choose to believe that ending this pain is not my life's mission. It is not my job to end the pain 24 hours a day or every waking moment. Look, I know we are trying to get rid of the pain, and that is critical because it hurts, of course. But if you make your entire day about ending the pain, this distraction is still got a hold on you. The distraction is working flawlessly if all you are thinking about is getting rid of this pain. So do those things I just walked you through, those productive behaviors, those productive beliefs and choices. Feel your emotions deeply. Do that work. Spend 20, 30 minutes. And then throughout the rest of the day, kind of go about your day. What can I do that I need to do, that I want to do, that brings me joy? All right, if you can't find anything that brings you joy, it means you've been stuck in your pain so long you forgot how. And you may want to reacquaint yourself with that. What hobbies did you always wish you could do? What books do you want to read? What funny movies do you want to watch? What can you do to bring yourself joy and turn down the volume on this fight or flight response, on the negative thoughts, negative beliefs, negative emotions that keep us stuck? So, can you control it? Can I control it? The pain? No, but you can control your response to it and your behaviors and what you do, and create the life you want. And again, I've said this in a number of my videos. The people who get better the fastest are those that decide, I'm not going to try to control it. It's either there or it's not. And I'm not going to care whether or not I have pain today. Because today is another beautiful day whether it's raining and thunderstorming, snowing, or sunny. Today's another beautiful day because I'm still here and I still have choices that can positively impact my future. So make those choices right now. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Anxiety is just worry spiraling out of control. You're not an anxious person. You are just a person who is doing anxious things and behaving anxiously. And that's not who you are. You are the person who can decide for yourself right now, today, what is the most useful what's the most useful way I can use my right now time. And again, it's feeling your emotions, deciding what you want to do, finding joy throughout your day. And as hard as it is, stop caring if you have pain or not. Because when you stop caring about it and you lose the fear of the pain, then that's when it starts to release all on its own. You can't get rid of it, but you can let it go. And it will let go when it's ready to. And when you have created the environment and the circumstances where it can let go, because it's not the most important thing in your life. So, let me know what you think of the video. Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if these things resonate with you. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you want to share this with somebody, great, go for it. If you don't, no big deal. If you have somebody in your life who doesn't know about this TMS stuff or distraction pain, and you'd like them to know about it, but as you try to explain it to them, they just don't get it, feel free to send them to painforyou.com. No email address required. Right there on that page is a video where I get into an explanation about what happens and how this stuff works, how pain starts, how it becomes chronic. And that may help others around you become more aware of and empathetic to what you're going through and what they can do to help you. And so, thanks again for watching. I love you guys and gals, and let me know what I can do for you. Leave a comment below if you have a topic you'd like me to cover, or you can send it to questions at painforyou.com, and I'll try to add those types of questions into my future videos. So again, thank you, and we'll talk soon.